You are now listening to the Drunken Monks podcast.
Previously on the
Drunken Monks podcast.
Oh, they're doing the previously thing. Do it again. Do a very ominous sounding, very omnipotent God, angry, telling us some information what happened in the last episode for those catching up.
Gender norms is a really good example of that too, as well. And I will leave that to hang because our producer's telling us that we're almost done too, as well. But I would like to get into that and maybe with you too, Quinn, as to expectations, roles, that type of thing, and especially when it comes to gender, because that's big here.
Masculinity on this island and Stacia and the other islands. Oh yeah, for sure. All right.
Then
we have to deal with.
All right. So then we'll take this moment. We'll be right back. Once again, we are back, folks. We're here with our man Quinn. We're here with the lovely Denise. I love her hair. I love all of that's going on. No bullshit, love. You are a Nubian goddess at this point with the fucking kunta earrings.
At this point, always come on, man.
Yo, for real, boy. For real.
Do not misspeak, Marlo. Do not misspeak.
Who? I will misspeak every fucking time. You know why? Because that starts a conversation.
And until the day she will be returned to the soil.
Look at you. Smooth and in charge. Smooth, man. Yo, Q, let me ask you something.
Hit me, brother.
Let me hit you with a hypothetical. You get into a relationship with a particular lady. Do you have any expectations of what she's supposed to do?
Other than loving me and being faithful, no.
Like what she's supposed to do? What do you mean, Marlo?
What she's supposed to do? I will bring this forward right now, and I'll start it with an anecdote, right?
Hit me with it.
I've been on the island for about 5-6 years now, right? And at the time, I was very heavily employed, but it was a blue collar, very guys job. A lot of blue collar guys, burly guys, manly men, local guys working, and we happened to get a Friday, like half day, because it was very dependent upon the schedule of certain things. Everybody's around the table, time is winding down. They're like, yo, Joe, what are you going to do? Dude, I'm going to Campo. Campo is like the whorehouse here or whatever. Dude, I'm going down the road to go drink. Dude, I'm doing this, doing that. A couple of brothers turned to me. Marlo, what are you going to do? I'm going to go home and do laundry. You could hear the needles scratch the record. Like, what? And it's not for what I'm doing. It's for who's doing what I'm doing. They asked me, but don't you have a wife? I'm like, yeah, I got a wife, but I got laundry to do and she's not home and this needs to be done. They're like, but she's supposed to do it. I'm like, yeah, brothers, no, man. If she's dead and I got dirty drawers, I got to figure it out. And I'm not buying new drawers. There's a lot of gender expectation on Curacao that I feel, and by extension, in the Greater Caribbean realm still, even in 2021, man, people still feel that women are supposed to do this, men are supposed to do that, and everybody's allowed to have their opinion about a certain thing, but I definitely disagree with that. I think that anybody can do anything, and especially when it comes to who's supposed to do what. I won't lie to you, I got my own baggage. I came up in a particular time too, as well, and even though that my upper brain says, Marlo, it's cool, the knee-jerk reaction to certain things is not always cool, you know what I mean? And I try to work through that. But I would like to pose it to the both of y'all, how does that look like in 2021 on the island, And especially you, Denise, being of the opposite sex, definitely working, definitely in charge of your own shit, definitely handling your own business. What do you feel about gender roles here? Take some time. Answer that.
Very loaded, very spicy question.
Spicy. This is such a cliche question.
So then answer.
What do I feel about
2021 is a new year.
The question was what I feel about gender roles in 2021?
Yep.
Or 2020 leading up to here.
See, I mean, I don't think like you put it like in Curacao and the Greater Caribbean. I think it's everywhere because right now the in thing in Holland, for example, is a papadag. I work a lot with Dutch, yeah, Dutch ministries, and then the guys that I'm working with tell me, yeah, maar ik kan woensdag niet of dinsdag niet of maandag niet, whatever day they cannot meet because they are not working because they have a papadag. So a papadag, I was like, what the hell is a papadag? But a papadag is basically a day that you spend with your kids. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's gewoon parroting. Like, why?
Dat is gewoon woensdag.
Dat is gewoon een dag.
It's a Wednesday, dude.
Dat is gewoon woensdag. Dat is gewoon, ja.
Like, because you are going zogenaamd to spend the day with your kids, now I have to give you a medal. I don't know. So maybe in other places it's maybe more subtle, but it's everywhere. You have these fixed gender roles, and depending on your circle, depending on your circumstances, you are more, and depending on your own determination and your own willingness to take shit, you can deviate a little bit from those norms or from those standards. And as time goes, they slowly change, no? I think. I don't know.
What about you, Q?
Well, I haven't lived on the island for, I think, 9 years now. So the only example I have is the way my parents treat each other. They somehow miraculously, they're still together after 28 years, yeah, or more, 30 years.
28 years, together. Wow.
Yeah. And I've noticed some definite changes in the way they interact with each other. Like, for example, in the beginning, my mom was the only one that would clean up something, do the dishes, or cook food. But now I see my dad doing the dishes and I see him cook food. He cooked his food like on multiple occasions, like on this vacation. And those are like some subtle changes I've noticed, you know, like the level of machismo that was here is just slightly going lower, but it's still not, I think, to optimal levels where we would like them to be, I guess. But from what I've observed as an outsider, since I don't live here anymore, it's a lot less than when growing up here.
But what changed in your parents' relationship, do you think?
Ooh, couldn't say. Maybe because me and my brother aren't here anymore. We're both out in the Netherlands, so they have more time to reconnect. Maybe there's less friction with two fucking unruly teenagers being in the house. Just constantly beefing with each other, breaking shit in their house. Like we were terrors. Like Jesus. So maybe that's giving their relationship a chance to breathe again and let them reconnect on a more intimate level.
That does help. I won't tell you no lie, man.
Who knows?
I got to my damn self, and every moment of just me and Cass is precious. Like that ain't no joke. That is no joke, brother. But I do. But all right. So then let me put another one in front of you, like in front of both of y'all. Who makes the first move on a new prospect? Do you ask out on a date? Do you want to be asked out on a date? Like that type of thing. From my perspective as I guess the youngest one in the group at the moment, like I use a lot of dating apps, and there's some dating apps where the female has, like Bumble, like she has to initiate the first the interaction, or Tinder where it's a free for all, whoever can, but usually it's the male. Right.
So
but do you feel weird that like if a girl but let's say that the apps are out the way and it's just you at a bar, things are cool, you and your boys are cool and whatever. Girl comes up to you, yo, I want that number, boy. Does that make you feel weird? Does that make you feel a little odd or whatever?
Absolutely not. Like probably even more intrigued. Like I like a strong woman that's very confident and likes what she wants. Like I try to pack up whatever machismo I have and just throw it out the window. Honestly, it doesn't serve me any purpose, especially not in the modern world. Like what is it even?
But how do you know what is machismo and what to pack up?
Like, I am the man. I need to be the breadwinner. I need to be the head of the house. I need to be the leader. I need to be the fucking choice maker. I need to tell you what to do and when you do it. Because that's what a man
In that
does.
voice. Exactly. That voice.
I hit it with that voice. You heard me.
You heard me. A little bit of bass.
Exactly. I scared him a little bit with that bass. But, you know, that is something that I do not prescribe to, because, like, I don't want my mom to be treated that way. I don't want anyone to be treated that way, honestly, not even another man. Like, what the fuck are we doing to each other? Like, look and speak with respect. There's really no need for this.
But hold on. I would respectfully disagree, but I can't go into why, because we got some boundaries between us three. But I will say this much: there is a space and there's a time.
Very cryptic. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Actually.
No, look, we've all three agreed that there's a particular zone that we're not going to go into, and or at least I could say my part, but you guys can't say yours because you guys would like to keep your life private. So it was okay, but I would definitely disagree and say that there's a moment in time where a little bit of machismo still works, and I won't go to the gory details, but I think that when it comes to sensuality, when it comes to heteronormative sensuality. Let me say like that before I get, Denise and our friend and everybody on my particular fucking back, right? Heteronormative sensuality. There's something to be said where a man is a man and like a woman is a woman, and it is.
What case?
Yeah, no, I've had romantic encounters go bad because it was too passive, too sensitive, too way to feel. Like when you get aggressive and when you like you are that dude with the voice of I'm gonna make the decision and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Then all of a sudden things go a lot more smoother. Stuff gets lubricated. Take as much out of that as you want.
but then wait, what about the flip side? Like, doesn't that just mean that she wasn't a person that you vibe with? Like, other than a lustful encounter, was it something meaningful, something that you could
I've had it both sides. I've had it be meaningless and meaningful. I've had meaningful things where, but that's, and especially with the meaningful, that like, you know, like
the way your
that brings up something.
Worked in your favor, or the opposite, the machismo?
It worked in my favor. But it wasn't something that I was planning on. It was just like the Ur caveman came out. You put all reason and whatever out the window, and you act very masculine. You act very, you know, like whatever, and get to find out that that's the kink. Like that's exactly what works.
You think you were being masculine, or were you being confident?
I think confidence in that particular aspect is usually attributed to masculinity, and I'm only going with
what?
Usually.
What is a confident woman then?
Huh?
What does a confident woman look like to you then?
A confident woman looks like she moves like a man. Unfortunately, that is some of the codification that we've had.
Neanderthal thinking is this, man?
I'm telling you.
What do you mean moves like a man? Like
moves like a man? Women, when they want romantic encounters, and that's the word I'm going to use. That's the term that I'm going to use. But usually,
tread very lightly, Marlo, because
I am going to tread as off as I want. You know why? Because I want you to correct me.
Okay, women when they want. Okay, ga door.
Women, heteronormative women. Jesus Christ, I'm putting the caveat in front. Heteronormative women.
Ga door.
And heteronormative women, there are a certain amount of them that enjoy like just being passive, or that they enjoy just being thing, and it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. They want the guy to ask them out. They want the guy to flirt with them. They want the guy to respect that they're being demure, or they're being or like a particular way, and especially because of the baggage that they might have grown up with, that you're not allowed to be as a woman out and proud and loud and way to feel. And that might be the thing that's working in their head. Does it make them a bad person or a less evolved person? I don't think so. If they have that thing in their head of that this is what it needs to be and it works, and they find a guy that fits their particular thing as well, I don't think that to be a bad thing. I do think it to be an opportunity to learn. I do think it to be an opportunity for both of the individuals, myself included, because I've learned a lot over the years. You know what I mean? But what it is that a lot of things tend to be pigeonholed into a particular thing. And especially because we don't talk about sex, we don't talk about taboos, we don't talk about kinks, we don't talk about preferences, we don't talk about what works, we don't talk about a lot of things. A lot of things are either inferred or left to guess to. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times, from what my experience, I'm not saying for anybody else, heteronormative, right? You have women that look at
Marlo. That's a load of crap. First of all,
I gotta agree with Denise.
But first of all,
I agree with Denise. I gotta agree with Denise.
Hoe haal je het in je hoofd om te zeggen that being secure and that secure is masculine and then women who are secure move like a man or manly or like what kind of bullshit is that? And what kind of nonsense is that? Is again your cisgendered Neanderthal nonsense again.
Wait. Like I'm also
started finally.
I don't believe
fucking 50 minutes into the show I got started.
Marlo does, but maybe that's because I am a millennial and I grew up. Like when I went to university, I got to know a bunch of feminists and read a bunch of feminist books that they were recommending to me or articles.
Marlo,
I dated a girl who was a self-proclaimed heavy feminist, like Sylvia Plath, all that stuff. Maya Angelou, she was all into it. So like maybe that's why I have a different view on what a strong woman is or what.
So then give it to me, guys. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong.
First of all, I don't.
And this is me being curious. This is not me being like fuck you guys. Like no.
If I may, as a cisgender black man, I don't think a confident woman walks like a man. I think she just has a certain aura around her that's very alluring and very attractive. Maybe that's my personal opinion, but I don't prescribe any gender stereotypes to anybody anymore. You can really do whatever the hell you want, be confident, be beautiful or handsome or whatever you decide to identify as. And I don't even know what walking like a man means anymore, really. Like, do I walk like a man? Do you walk like a man? Like,
I'm saying, listen to me. Like, unfortunately, this is not the medium to get into it because this is a deeper conversation for a lot of things, right? But what I mean by that is that I freely admit to my baggage as well. I know I have Neanderthal shit in my background. I know this. And what it is that what heteronormativeness brings to the table, unfortunately, because the same pen that wrote heteronormativeness also penned what black people are like, what white people are like, what this or that like. And I would love to let go of it completely, but it also lets go of a lot of my identity. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things where I genuinely feel odd if a woman pays the bill. I genuinely feel odd. Like I have to wrestle with that thing. My upper brain and I'm learnedness, as you said, like you've been exposed to certain things, you've done certain things. It allows me the space to do it right. It allows me the space to not be an asshole or to not
real quick.
Like, you know,
is
like
that your
be
ego
like
or your personality that doesn't want a woman to pay?
Nah, dude. It is learned behavior. If I have to be completely honest, brother. It is just learned behavior because and what's even wilder, I was raised by the she-wolves. I was raised by tough, independent, forward-thinking, strong women. And I should be okay.
You paid all your bills, so why is that weird?
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But it still is weird because that was one voice or one sound channel in a sea of sound channels where the opposite was said, or the opposite was shown, or the opposite held. Again, I'm a story consumer. A lot of stuff was very heteronormative up until like maybe 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it's only now that we're starting to like wrestle with these ideas about gender. And this is legit why I brought it up. Because I would freely expose my bullshit on the show to have that conversation started. And I would have Denise or you or whoever correct me if I'm wrong. You check what I'm saying? If, when, how, whatever, that I'm wrong.
Like,
I would want to start the conversation because I don't think this conversation has ever happened completely out in the open in Curacao. I really feel like that. Like I feel like it's
Didn't we
like
recently have that conversation about homosexuality on the island, like an open forum. Like,
yeah.
There's constantly a discussion about homosexuality. There's been from
like a forum, right? Like they were like gonna do that like in an open space where everyone could like chime in, or did I understand the event wrong?
I'm not sure.
Was a friend of yours that was gonna go there?
Oh yeah, but that was on Facebook. A dialogue or something. Yeah. That's true.
I personally have never experienced it on the island before. That's why I'm saying like that was like whoa, that's so cool, that's great. Because I remember a few years ago, or maybe 1 or 2 years ago, we had the Pride Parade in Puna as well, right?
Well, the Pride Parade has been going on for a number of years, like quite a number of years.
Like I remember when I was living here, that was not a thing. So like 9 years ago, it was not a thing.
No, I'm thinking.
Like I remember I was in NL and I read about it for the first time, and it was, or at least it was publicized. It was a very public event, and a bunch of people participated in it.
Yeah,
But
I know for sure that there is a lot of homophobia in our culture. Like
for example,
even amongst the women. Like I don't know if I can give you a little anecdote.
Why you say even amongst the women?
So growing up, I went to this private high school, Abu Tasman, for 1 year, and that's where I met a gay man, or a man who was that was a PC way of saying this.
A gay man is okay.
no, just a gay man, dude. Like I don't think that you're gonna be in trouble at that point. You know what I mean?
So at that time, I was going through a difficult breakup, and this guy, out of just the kindness of his heart, he saw me having a difficult time. He approached me and he started talking to me. He's like, "Hey man, are you okay? What's wrong with you? Blah blah blah." We started dialogue. We exchanged phone numbers, and we started playing video games together. And then he invited me over to his house just so we could hang out. And my mom was like, "Hey, I heard that you're hanging out with this guy, and people are saying that he's a homosexual. Aren't you afraid that people are gonna think you're a homosexual?" I'm like, "Mom, what the hell? You are bringing this up to me? Like, what do you mean? Even if they think I'm a homosexual, what do I care? Because that's not who I am. I just want to hang out with my friend. He's my friend. That's all he is."
Exactly.
So that's why I say even women. So even my mother had this odd idea in her head that I shouldn't mingle with him because of fear.
If I may jump in on that, Hugh, like we all have gay family members. We all have like a cousin or uncle or whatever. And my experience growing up, again, a kid of the 80s, right? The women were a lot more accepting of his lot in life than the men were. The men would, they cry and, you know, maybe even disown and all that type of shit. The women would still like fuck with the dude. They would still call him, see what's up. And it's just a part of his thing. Now, whether that he grew up Christian or not or whatever, they would see it as his burden to deal with in his time. They would not get in his way, but it would not support him outright like either. It would be very undercover, very quiet, very, you know. But it's the women who are more compassionate towards the gay experience. Sure. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a gay man, a gay woman, or whatever. They were more compassionate.
If I agree with this thing, I think
I'm not telling you what it is. I'm telling you what I saw. You understand what I mean? And it was across the board. It wasn't just my family. It was across the board. Like friends of mine and their families and one and so. The women tended to be more accepting. Not accepting 100% outright or whatever. There's a lot of homophobia still in them too, but they were less stringent, less brutal, less, you know, savage towards their particular friends or family members that happen to be gay, and that was in my time. Like what Quinn is talking about, like and like what you brought up with the whole fact of there's a gay pride parade. That's all fine and well, but in the same way that is niche, and everything else that we've talked about this evening is niche, how much of the broader island is embracing it right now? How much of the broader island is like saying, you know what, that's okay, that's cool. At the very least, that's okay, that's cool. If not, you know, let me help that person. Let me make sure that person has a quality of life that I have too, like as well, or a better quality of life, or access, or way to feel, no ostracizing, no way to feel, you know. Those are questions that I think that Curacao still got to wrestle with across the board. And
I don't know the answer, honestly. I have not been here, like I've said, for the past 9 years, and I don't know how they currently feel about it. But I can only attest to when I was growing up here, it was not easy being gay at all. Not at all. Like,
I don't think it is as bad. I think time is an upward slope. I think that is slowly getting better, like every time. But I do think that there is a long way to go, and the only way that you get forward is at the very least you call it the bullshit, as we discussed previously, Denise. Mm-hmm. Like you got to be able to call out the bullshit and your own bullshit too, like as well. Hence me putting myself in the line of fire here this evening. You know what I mean? Because I freely admit that I got bullshit. I freely admit I do not have it right. I'm not even close. You know what I mean? But I don't mind having the conversation. I don't mind getting to a point where you know that at the very least I can learn. I can not learn and squirrel it away. No, learn and evangelicalize. Learn and try to put it forward to like as well. It shouldn't be hard to treat people like fucking human beings. It should not be hard. We're all human beings. We're all, you know, like we got different ideas and meanings and whatnot. So, but at the end of the day, oh, I'm sorry for that, y'all. The producer just told me something. Y'all want to continue for like about 5 or 10 more, or like?
Yeah, continue because I'm just gewoon.
Flabbergasted.
So continue.
I want to hear.
How are you? Listen, let me ask you something. How is it that you're surprised by my answers when I have never been quiet about who I am and what it is? I am forward thinking. I am very much forward thinking, but I am also ensnared by the chains of my past. A lot of the chains of my past make me who I am like as well. I have a particular view of rich versus poor because of where I started. I have a particular view of not versus, but men and women because of where I started. I have a particular view of all things. How is this weird to you? I've told you who I am up front, never hid, never whatever. So how is this weird now in this moment? You check one man?
Because you have some, to me, very backwards ideas. En ook een beetje onderbewust. Well, you say, yeah, I showed you who I am. Maar oftentimes you portray, I find, to be some kind of liberated, liberal, well-read, well-informed person.
I am well-informed, love. I am well-informed, but I am human and I have biases. We all do. I have biases. I freely admit that.
A bias is different than saying when a woman is confident, she walks like a man. That's not a bias.
That's a bias, man. Listen, a bias is just a bias up until...
Wait, what would you call that, Denise? What would you call that then?
That's just stereotypical, backward stereotypical assumptions. It's not a bias.
Okay, without putting you under the bus, because I can't. Without putting you under the bus, what is stereotypical about you?
What is stereotypical?
I am willing to admit my stereotypical shit. What is stereotypical about you?
No, not about me. You mean what stereotypes do I ascribe to, or that I think?
Should I go first?
Go right ahead. No, but I want her to answer because she's like, "How are you so stereo?" Bitch, we all have them. What are you talking about?
Of course, everybody
Average
has.
substance abusing depressed millennial.
No, but hey, there we go. Lazy millennial doesn't know what he wants.
That's not one of the stereotypes I hold. But
No, for me
oh, for
personally.
you.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
sure. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying that look, change cannot listen. I'm always, and hopefully I can do this within reason and properly upon this show. But change does not come without looking at self first. And I freely admit that I am flawed. I freely nobody can tell me that I'm flawed. I know that I'm flawed. You know what I mean? I know I have baggage. I have baggage about a lot of shit. I have baggage and a chip on my shoulder is what I like to call it. You know what I mean? I have these feelings. They're mostly feelings. I have these feelings, these knee-jerk reactions to immediate type of situations. And this is why I always advocate for people to take a step back, especially if a situation gets a little heated, a little hot or whatever. You're either angry, you're horny, you're frustrated, you're depressed, whatever. Take a moment. Your emotions will never give you reason. You know what I mean? Examining the thing, talking about it, dealing with it, going to a friend, bouncing ideas, this dialogue. That happens, then all of a sudden you will get through what you need to get through. And even then you might not get the right answer, but you will get to a place. You know what I mean? I love dialogue for that. I know I'm still in progress. You know?
Marlo,
Did you have a lot of platonic female friends growing up? Like in high school and maybe?
Yeah, but I'll be completely honest. In my head, is like 2 steps away from turning that into a girlfriend. So yeah, like it's only like in college I learned how to tone that down, and it was like that's just a platonic friend. That's just her, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, too.
Why, Quinn? Why the question, and why is it interesting?
Oh, maybe because he hasn't interacted with girls at a young age, just on a purely platonic level. Like only at, like he said, in college and a later date, he was purely platonic with girls. Well, I can vividly remember being purely platonic since high school. But maybe that's something from a new generation where it was more talked about and more accepted.
Yeah.
That you could just be friends and that's just fine.
But even just to go back to what Marlo said about being flawed, and he carries his flaws and knowing about his flaw as a stripe, like, oh, so fantastic.
General
Everybody is
battles.
Yeah, no, but this is what I like. So that dude, bring it. Fuck it. Let's go.
No, but everybody is flawed and everybody knows that. En het is toch, en you komt nou met een heel groot verhaaltje over de dialogue en de learning. Maar het is toch juist when somebody calls out the bullshit that you learned. So how is it now a big thing for me that I am reacting to what's going on here? I have no clue.
The hair got in the way.
Denise, are you okay?
It's reacting to this.
Take the red pill.
But like that I'm like, you showed me who you are and why do I find it weird? Nee, it is about the calling out. When I talk bullshit, somebody needs to call me out, and then indeed I will look back, reflect, and hopefully become wiser and think, hey, okay, it was inderdaad onredelijk or whatever, and then try to not do it in the future or do it better or whatever. Dat is het hele ding. So what is the issue now about being called on your bullshit? Is it gewoon, I am flawed, I know that I am flawed, so shut up because I know it? What is going on?
I would just think that because you and I know each other at this point a decent amount of time, and we've spent a decent amount of time in each other's omgeving as well, and I don't think that I've ever hid or try to polish or try to I would present myself to you and to everybody around you and myself or whatnot, flaws and all. So if somebody doesn't pick up on it, I find it interesting. I've been saying this all the time, you know what I mean? Not so much that to like.
Maar dan wat really, I've been saying it all the time. Dan kan ik toch nog wel zeggen van, hey dude, dat is bullshit. Dat is
No, sowieso. I mean, but this brings me to another point as well. And I'm not defending this particular point of mine, but it does come to a thing of how do you compile and go forward? Like how when do you know that you're right? When do you know that you're wrong? When do you know that I need to die on this hill? And when do you know that I need to listen to the other person and be like, yo, Joe, let me give him a chance? Because that too is a big part of going forward. That too is a big part of, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to let go of that. You know what I mean? For me, beargumentering is one. If you can present your argument properly and I can find like logic within the argument, I could say patience. That's one. Like if it's opinion versus opinion, I'm sorry, but then we're going to always not have a, but if there's something that we can bring forward of like, there's logic in what I'm saying along with my opinion, I can go with that. I think me and D have that big time when it comes to like, again, like how people view slavery like a one and so. It's like, you can have a lackadaisical opinion about it, but this happened. This is the proof. There's a through line. You know what I mean?
There's multiple ways to view slavery.
Apparently, brother. apparently, and one of the ways is not at all.
I want to use it fucked up, and it's still fucked up, and we're still dealing with the psychological repercussions. What do you mean?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But brother, trust when I tell you that there are people. Again, to go back to the last episode, we both were discussing something where people who should have known only now have gotten wise to the fact that slavery impacted a particular part of Holland's history. Like, dude, it was all of Holland's history. That's how all the money and the power came. You know
Holland likes to whitewash all of their history. Like, even like last year, they released het Kanon van Nederland. So like their fucking history. And these motherfuckers just glossed over the fact that they were the fucking main slave traders of the world and literally started that shit with the West Indian Company. They just skipped it. They didn't even mention that shit. The indigenous fucking tribes being murdered? Nope, we didn't do that shit. And then like or a lot of news outlets fucking called them out on that shit very quickly, and they like retracted it. But yeah.
No, all right. But you see, but then at that point, news outlets are like the differing opinion, and then again you can put it into facts and into logic. This is where you're wrong. You know what I mean? I tend to deal with that. Luckily, I have good people around me, Denise included, yourself included, that can argumenteer an opinion and can show me this is the through line. Like if you have this thought, this is where it goes. You know what I mean? Not everybody does that. Not everybody takes time to think about how.
Like there's objective reality, statistics, and then your opinion.
Exactly.
Go for it, Denise.
Yeah, I'm not sure because Marlo was talking about logic. Je beargumenteer en no logic in the argument. En dan als het logisch is, dan zal ik het aannemen.
No. Het is niet van het zal ik het aannemen, but you like that combined with am I being an asshole playing because I'm hurting people? Like it's not that's not the only factor. Like I was gonna get to everything else. But am I being an asshole and is my opinion hurting everybody else and hurting the zen of the group or the zen of the family or the zen of the household or whatever? You check what I mean?
But how about hypothetically speaking, your family, a family is racist, and then your very progressive views come in and ruin the zen of the family,
right?
Like how's logic play?
But that's what I'm saying. Show me the logic.
People obviously do a logical fallacy. Like that's also a thing, logical fallacy.
Exactly. And that plays exactly into what I'm talking about.
That's not true.
But that plays exactly.
I would rather go. Yeah.
It's like
objective reality, really is.
Right. No, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like basically, you can prove that a black person is a human being. You know what I mean? Like they have like there's everything that you could want and need to prove a racist wrong. You check what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that when it comes to wait to fail.
But it's not a question of biology.
Which religion is the best? That there's no empirical proof beyond maybe how religion was dogmatized into certain things that allows you to say that this religion is better than that one or whatever. It's all about faith. It's all about something that is untouchable, unknowable.
Well, radical idea. None of them are right. The correct way to do anything.
Here we go. You see, but all right. Now we're getting into something. You check one, man. But that combined with is my behavior making me into an asshole. You might not be able to understand about our commentary.
But that's what I mean. Are you an asshole if you call your racist family out for being racists or
just
anything?
A bit? But then you're a righteous asshole. Like you're a good asshole.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's like bad assholes, there are good assholes. We're on now. Dude, I'm out, man. I need a drink. But this is actually pretty but you've been quiet, man. You've been quiet the whole time. Me and Quinn have been going back and forth. Like, what's going on with you?
No,
because this is good.
I was trying to make a point, but you went again and took over. Because I wanted to say, no, about the logic, because I started because you were talking about logic, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking a lot has to do, and then later you said it, I think a lot has to do with hurting someone. If you hurt someone by what you're saying or whatever, and you wish off not to be an asshole, or you wish to continue in a meaningful way with this person or this group that you've hurt, you need to do something with what you've said. So there might not be logic to you in the argument, because at first it sounded like you're saying, yeah, well, if the argument is logical, then okay, then you will accept it, and then then you step off of your rightness, zeg maar. Maar I think even if the argument is not logical, but it hurts somebody, maar daar heb je ook gradaties in, but it hurts somebody and you wish to continue in a meaningful way with that person, dan moet je daar wat mee. So because inderdaad, I'm thinking about the Zwarte Piet discussie.
What would you do then? Yeah, exactly.
Because I could say, for me, it's logic. I could say, yeah, but this is a racist trope. It's based, look at how they're depicted, look at the clothing.
Literal caricatures.
How dumb they do. Look at blackface. Look at the whole slavery history. Precies. Maar voor andere mensen, that is not logisch. Even though I'm saying, yeah, this is a fact. The other people will say, no. Of course, it comes door de schoorsteen, and this is our tradition. And yeah, the slavery verhaal, dat maak jij ervan.
How does the schoorsteen give him golden rings and red lips? Like, that's like a little logical fallacy. Here's the schoorsteen. It's like, no, you're fucking trying to, like, one thing Dutch people are really good at is recht lullen wat krom is. And like, they refuse to fucking see.
See, but
like, the true racism of their behavior.
But in the process of recht lullen wat krom is, then I think it's very difficult to talk about logic, because
that's why it's not logic.
So that's why I think it's.
Wait. When I say logic, but wait a minute. But when I say logic, at that point, and I guess there's a caveat that needs to be given. A little bit of intellectual honesty has to be on both sides, right? If you're not willing to be intellectually honest and you come with your recht lullen and I come with hard facts and you still want to hold on to your shit, then we ain't got nothing to talk about. Then I got to leave that conversation. And then like, that's it. You check what I mean? But right. I'm intellectually honest and you come with facts that are harder than mine. You know what I mean? Like, Marlo, you might think this way, but it hurts women, and this is the proof. Then I'm done. You check what I mean? Then if I'm straight with myself, if I'm straight with, like, you know what? That person was right. I can take a loss. I can take this L. Then you go forward. But for two people or more people to have a conversation and there's no intellectual honesty, it doesn't make no sense to have the conversation in the first place.
Maar doesn't that require a certain skill of persons? Like
skill?
Yeah.
I mean, just Lord, man, can you admit that you farted? Can you admit that?
No, but
You know what I mean?
no, but
You cut
seriously,
the cheese, brother.
Yo, for real. Like, yo, Dread, I'm sorry. That was my bad, y'all. That was, like, that was me.
no, but no, because
That's an ego thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's humility that needs to get get in the way. It is
no,
not.
but you have very complex problems and redeneringen, because you say, yeah, but you just but I don't remember how you call it, but the intellectual honesty.
Mhm.
Maar if it's about very complex things that you do not know a lot about, then I don't know if you can speak about intellectual honesty. Want you
No,
say,
but
yeah,
then
you have to think and dan honestly and say that okay, bla bla bla. But daar gaat een denkproces aan vooraf. En zeker over hele complexe zaken. I can also not, if I get presented with two sets of facts about something super complex, they both sound plausible to me. So what is the honesty? How should I know what is the correct thing if they both come with a strong case about something that I don't know?
But you see, but then this is where me and you disagree, because you are looking at maybe a momentopname. I am talking about an evolving point. Like, you might have this particular idea about this complex thing based on two very complicated facts, but just as you said, you need to do the work. I have these two complicated things. This thing is an important thing that needs my attention. I need to at least dig into it just a little bit and see. And this is why I said last week, I don't give a fuck about the Rijksmuseum. They should have known. You check, but they didn't do the work. They didn't dig deeper into what was right in front of their fucking noses. You understand what I'm saying? You have two sets of hard things to make a choice of. You have a chance to learn about it and to go deeper into it and to evolve your point. You check what I mean? If you don't do that, then again, you're not being intellectually honest at that point as well. Nobody is going to hold you accountable for just een momentopname van, hey, ik dacht dit nu, en nu omdat ik meer weet, ik denk nu zo. Weet je? You evolve. People grow.
Apparently Twitter doesn't agree with that.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately. And that is a part of the conversation too, as well. You got to leave people a chance. If somebody's
can be fallible, give them a chance, and people can.
Give them a chance. Yeah. Everybody got to learn, though. Everybody. Yeah. I guarantee you, the standpunten that you have now were not the standpunten that you had at 14 years old. Were not the standpunten that you had.
Yo, if they are, you're a very, very sad person that really needs to reevaluate your life.
But that's my point.
That's
the shit evolves. Momentopnames are disingenuous as well. I thought the thing in the moment that I thought it. And that was it. And that's all I'm saying too, as well. Me and Marlo Brown, to come back all the way fuck around to my target on the back, was like, yo, I think this thing, and not even think this thing, I feel this thing. It's not think, because when I think it through, I auto-correct myself. I auto, but I'm just telling you what's underneath the fucking surface, like what's not spoken about. You understand what I mean? The shit that you don't have time to think about, that you have a knee-jerk reaction to. Instinct, right? Like instinct and learned behavior and fucking muscle memory of the mind. Those are the things that we don't talk about.
That we're getting into. So
I think that we got to finish it off here.
Your nature is not misogyny.
For the whole fucking. I have to admit, guys, I'm extremely happy with this. And Quinn, I'm happy that you were a guest. You're the first guest. I think that you did it well. I think that D, you have put me in my place yet again. And yeah, guys, final thoughts. I will give a round of that if there's a chance to plug anything or whatnot. So please feel free. Denise, if you got something to plug too, I would say if you got an event or a friend thing that's going on or whatnot, feel free to say it here because we have a following now.
No, I ain't got nothing to plug, but I do want to know about Quinn, because actually we started with Quinn and we went a whole other route.
You did. Hey! I honestly like her. Hey, we back. You left the Matrix, Denise.
Yo, I took the red pill. But Quinn, if I'm interested in your music, can I find it somewhere? If I want to have something of your
back again
everyday skating
clothing line,
whatever. Where can I find stuff about you? And when can I
my music?
hear something?
Yeah, you can find me on SoundCloud. It's Q dot, and you will find me. There's gonna be a little skater dude doing a kickflip.
We're gonna put all of the links in the description as well. So don't worry about it, guys. But is there anything else that you want to put forward?
I ear steel. Check out Kerr SSB on Instagram. He is my younger brother. We're gonna be collabing together on the brand. He is also an incredible skater. So if your brand or anything needs a dope skater, hit him up. We lightly touched upon the stories that I want to write, and I'm going to write those together in tandem with one of my closest friends ever, at Johnny Wale on Instagram. So this guy is one of the most amazing graphic design artists I've seen in my life, and he is a marketing/branding genius. So hit my boy up if you are in anything that needs merchandising or branding. Besides that, SoundCloud, Q dot, and planning for that EP.
All right.
Oh, God.
I will definitely be looking forward to it, brother. And we hope to have you back on soon because again, Zoom seems to work. So maybe in Holland where the net's a little bit better, it goes a little bit smoother. But it was real good this evening too, man. No lie. Guys.
Yes. Thank you,
I
guys.
think that we're done.
My pleasure.
I think that we're done. My name is Marlo Brown. That's Denise Fiber. We had the man Q in the building. And I would say, until next time, until next week, and enjoy. Peace.
Deuces.